Hello YouTube and welcome to another episode of The Cloudy Vape. In this video we're going to be talking about the Mutation X version 4 Quadro. Mutation X version Quadro. So, yeah, I'm so torn about this because I like it, but compared to the version 3, it's completely different. I mean, just the style of the airflow is what is the same, if that makes any sense. The airflow being slanted and having, 9 on each side, that's all that is the same on this device, and the fact that it's a, dual center post. But really, personally, I'm not a huge fan of this one. I don't really like it. It's not something I could use all the time. I did have the little stoppers on the bottom airflow because I just didn't enjoy the bottom airflow at all. I think the bottom airflow is just for me. I don't like it. That's just my thoughts. So I'll probably get a bunch of hate, and you guys will be like, this is the best device ever. You're such a snob and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no. I liked the version 3. I really enjoyed the version 3. I still use the version 3 daily, and so just having that switch up, having to worry about the bottom airflow also, I kind of wish there was a ring on the bottom where you could just close off the bottom airflow completely if you don't want to use it. But I have used the bottom airflow, and I'm using it right now, so we're going to have a little vape on it. I just don't like how, with the version 3, I could just drip it and go, drip and go. Drip and go, no issues. This, you have to be a little bit more gingerly with, you know what I mean? A little bit more gingerly with the dripping of the juice. So let's try it out. 0.3 ohms, 47 watts. Let's go. No leaks so far. Now I will admit the flavor is better than the version 3. The flavor definitely just punches the version 3 in the face, absolutely. But again, I'm just not a fan of this bottom airflow on this. I really enjoyed the large amount of airflow to the side. I used it because I didn't like the bottom airflow on other devices. I'll use bottom airflow for certain builds, but for the type of builds I like in larger RDAs, I do not like bottom airflow. And that is just my thought. So I know a lot of my friends have used this, a lot of other people I've seen use this, and they enjoy that. So that's awesome, and that's what I really think is great about vaping right now. I mean, there's so many different options, and you find what you like. Me personally, I like bottom airflow, just not on this style for some reason. It's just not, I'm not a big fan of. So I'm going to close off the airflow and just do the bottom airflow, which I hate. I know I'm being mean. I'm really just joking. I'm just joking. So, again, I keep going back and forth. I do like it. It's just not something I would use all the time. It's just not something I enjoy the most, if that makes any sense. But for the price and for what it is, I would recommend picking one up. Absolutely. It is really good for people just getting into building. It really teaches you how to be really cautious of bottom airflow. So if you want to go to something like the Freak Show or even the Freak Show Mini or anything like the postless one, the Evil Monk, something with bottom airflow, you really have to be thoughtful when you're wicking and when you're building about how exactly you're going to drip this, how exactly you're going to wick this. Don't drip too much, kind of brush it, different things like that. So it is good as a kind of an entry level for somebody who wants to really consider that. But for me, just the way I build, not really a big fan. Yeah. So let's dive down and check it out. Alright, so here's the Mutation X version 4. Here's the box it comes in. It does come with a few little goodies. It comes with like O-rings, replacement screws, mini screwdriver, little manual about what's going on in it, and then also this little flavor cap, or to cool off the vapors. So if you have a really low build in there, this will really help to cool it off a little bit. It basically raises the actual size of it, makes it larger. And then also this cap right here that screws down is for a 510 connection if you don't want to use the conical style drip tip that it comes with. But the conical style drip tip that it comes with is very nice because it does create a lot of flavor and decent vapor production. So yeah, I'm just going to go over this real quickly, just kind of talk about it. So here is your airflow on one side. So you kind of have like 2.5, 2, and then down to like 1.5 on this airflow on the bottom, and that's on both sides. And really, you can close off the airflow by twisting it, but what happens is then this side airflow doesn't center up with the coils, so it's not really something you want to do. So they do come with these little rubber grommets that I lost, of course, that you can put inside of there, and you can block off the center or the bottom airflow if that's something you want to do. The other thing is, just like the original, you know, the first mutations, you have 9 airflow holes on each side, creating kind of like a, you know, a grate or a fence of airflow. So 9 on one side, 9 on the other, and as you twist, you can adjust how it opens and how it closes. The main thing about this is, you know, it's sharp just like all the others, but you do have your single coil option right there. The back is blocked off, and then you have your dual coil option, which is, you know, dual airflow rather. Both sides are open, so depending on how you want it, you just line it up. Let's pop off this barrel. So there's your airflow on each side. This is just to kind of line up with your bottom airflow, this part right there. As far as this section, so this is going to be your airflow control, how you actually adjust the airflow. This part pops off right there. Not too bad, that pops off. So I don't know, I'm sure this drip tip comes out. It's just very snug. It might not come out. No, I don't know if this drip tip comes out. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It comes out, but it's very snug. Come on. Come on. You got this. You got this. Yeah, there we go. So, yeah, that drip tip does come out. Very snug, but it does come out. So, the other thing you would have is, for this section, you can take this kind of extenderizer. This extenderizer extends that section, and you could just put this cap back on there if you want, or you can have your 510 connection if you want also. And then that would just go down into this barrel. So as you can see, it would sit it up pretty high, but you know, if you have a really warm build in it, it might be worth it. You know, it might be worth using this little top section if that's something you want to do. I personally, I have not used this big top section yet, as of yet, but it is, you know, it's something to consider. As far as looking at the deck, very similar to the Mutation X version 3 as far as the deck right here, you know, your build. You have a dual center with Phillips head screws. You have 2, you know, negative posts milled into the deck, which is very nice. And then your airflow kind of changes up. Reminds me of a little bit of the Freak Show Mini. I mean, you have that, I guess not, I'm talking about the juice well, sorry. So this juice well is kind of a, if you see in there, kind of shaped weird. Definitely a trapezoid of some sort. So you do have a decent juice well in there, so to speak. You know, probably 5 millimeters, if not 6. It's just like, you know, it's good. It's a decent amount, definitely. But then kind of matching up with your airflow on the bottom, you have these bottom airflow coming up. So, you know, like 2.5, 2, and then 1, something like that. It's close to about those sizes. So it kind of drops down as it goes. And then you see right there, it kind of drops down as it goes. So essentially, it's just like your Freak Show. You basically built it. You build it kind of recessed a little bit behind that airflow. Kind of line them up behind the bottom airflow. And then you kind of just wick down, straight down in. Don't use too much cotton. But then what you actually do is you create pockets right on in front of the positive posts, and you can drip down right onto the positive post and really not have any leaking issues as far as this bottom airflow goes. So that's kind of, you know, that's just what I've been doing as far as what, you know, building this. So definitely consider when you're putting this post in, you don't want to have them directly over that airflow. You want just barely the edge of the coil sticking over into the juice or into the airflow channels, and then having the majority of the coil back behind it. But if you are using really large coils, it's not an issue either, because the coil is so large that it's not really going to drip down into there. You just want to make sure you kind of just, lay that cotton back down in, and just make sure the cotton goes down into those larger sections. That's where your cotton should be dropping down in. And once you build it once, you'll see exactly what I mean. It's very simplistic, very easy to wick. You just kind of drip it in there. I mean, the only thing is you can't really do like you could with a really big juice well. You can't just, squeeze it in there and just let it go. But as far as the rest of the deck, you have, what is this, three O-rings right there, sealing that off. And then on the bottom, I believe it is an adjustable pin. And then it says Mutation X version 4, Indulgence, I believe, by Indulgence. And then it has a serial number. So this is number 15,000, designed in the USA, Mutation X version 4. And then you do have an adjustable silver pin right there, which I can't adjust with my finger, but I am 99% sure it is adjustable. So, yep, that's the quick rundown. So you got your bottom section, you have your top section, you have optional top sections, even higher top sections. You have your adjustable airflow, to adjust, kind of like the rest. But this kind of just changes it up a little bit. This gives you more options. Definitely better flavor, and lets you mess around with it just a little bit. So from this one to this one, that's kind of what they did. So interesting change-ups, definitely interesting change-ups. But it's cool. It's all good. What I was gonna see is if this version 4's tip is gonna fit on this. Nope, it's bigger. So the version 4 tip does not fit on the version the version 3's section. It is a lot larger in bore. So anyways, that was just a thought. But anyways, that was the Mutation X version 4. This is the version 3, and I'm enjoying it. I'm liking it, loving it, all that stuff. But just not a huge fan of bottom airflow. Just not a major fan of bottom airflow. So that's the only thing that kind of bugs me about this one. But for what it is, price point, it works really well. So let's go back up to FaceTime and talk about it just a little bit more. So let's talk about the pros and the cons. So right away, my thought on the con is I just wish the way, I know you have those little rubber stoppers for the bottom airflow. I wish that there was more like of a ring, whereas the bottom airflow had a ring where you could close off completely. Maybe kind of a seal on it where you could close it off completely without having to worry about those little rubber stops, because completely honest, I've lost all of them. I can't find any of them. I'll pop them in there, and then I'll change out the RDA, I'll throw it in my build box, and then I'll pick it up and be like, where'd it go? And just slowly but surely, the few extras that were in there are gone now. So as far as the Mutation X version 5, because no one believed me when I said within the next few months, when I reviewed the version 3 or 2, I can't remember, I said just wait for it. In a few months, the version 4 will come out. This is just an experiment. And everyone's like, no, this is a permanent thing, blah, blah, blah. I said, anyways, but I don't know. I'm kind of just patting my own back, I guess. But yes, they came out with the version 4, and it's pretty popular. And so the version 5 will come out. I would say give it 4 months max. You'll have a version 5 out. And they'll probably do something to fix that bottom airflow, because I know that's been a lot of people have been upset about the bottom airflow leaking, but that's really just user error. That's your fault, that's my fault, that's not the company's fault. They built it to work, and if you can't get it to work, that's like my fault or your fault, whoever's building it or wicking it or dripping on it. But yeah, I think they could definitely do some stuff to improve the bottom airflow. That way you can adjust the bottom and the top by themselves, separate from each other. So yeah, that's my thoughts. But for what it is, great flavor, and it is very good. If you use those stoppers on the bottom, if the bottom airflow is something you not want to use, the stoppers do work really well. Like I said, I just lost them a lot. So that's just really where I stand with this device. Great, nice. I do like the version 3 more, but you know, for what this is, it works very well. Price point is awesome. All the little goodies it comes with is great. So yeah, that's it. I'm gonna wrap up this review so I don't keep ranting. So anyways, that is all, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, please like it. If you like my videos in general, please subscribe, and as always, stay classy and keep vaping.